In this video, I'm going to show you all the bottles I passed up on, all the bottles I missed, and all the bottles that I was able to purchase. And on those bottles, I'm going to show you how much I paid for them, how I got them, and where I got them. Because I want you guys to have the exact same method and opportunities that I have to get these bottles. Because let's be honest, it's so much more fun drinking together than it is just by myself. So buckle up. I hope you guys learn a thing or two so we can all find some awesome bottles next month. Okay. Oh yeah. Welcome to Whisk Bank. My name is David. And let's get right to the bottles. So first, the bottles I passed up on because you can't buy them all, unfortunately. First up, 4-Gate River Kelvin Rye, aged 10 years at $20-30 at Cypress Craft up in Cypress, California. Now, it was actually in a lot of places at the same price, and I passed on them all because, well, just too expensive, and I just never had a taste of it. I actually haven't even seen a review of it, so I don't know how good it is. I'm pretty sure it's good, but is it $230 plus tax good? I don't know, and I don't want to take that chance with that kind of money, so pass. Next bottle is gonna be the Michter's 10-year rye bundle that comes with the sour mash and the American whiskey for $207 at High Proof Liquor up in Fullerton, California. Now, that's a great bundle for a great price for 2 bottles I actually drink. But I actually bought a couple of bundles in the last couple of months. And so I actually have those bottles already. And so I just didn't want to get another 2 bottles of a backup of a nice whiskey that I might not drink. And also Michter's 10-year rye, I know it's good, but again, gotta be picky and choosy. You know, spending $270 plus tax is almost $300. Just couldn't do it. The next bottle I passed up on, the Penelope Rio Batch 2, that's finished in Amburana and Honey Barrels at High Times at Costa Mesa for $100. Why did I pass on that? I don't like Amburana finishes. I had a couple. I never had the Penelope Rio, but I had others that were supposedly good. I mean, they're all right, and they're all the same. So to me, it's probably a little bit better than those, but you know what? Sometimes, even if it has a good rep, and you just know you don't like it, and I don't really like Amburana finishes, you don't have to get it. Just control your FOMO, and hopefully me passing up on it gave somebody who really wants it an opportunity to buy it. So that's what I'm hoping, that I control my FOMO so somebody doesn't have to go secondary, doesn't have to miss out on it. They got the bottle they want, and I saved money and hopefully got the bottle I want. The next bottle I passed up on, I passed up on a lot of bottles this month. It's gonna be the Booker's Springfield Batch 2024 first batch coming in at $100 at KNL1. How did I find out about this? Facebook, our local bourbon society, posted that KNL had this, just posted. So I went to it, I looked at it, I looked at a couple of reviews real quick, hit and miss. So I wasn't sure how good it was. So I didn't want to spend $100 plus tax, and the liquor store was pretty far. So I actually had to get shipped. So it's at $15 or $16 for shipping. So that ends up being at least $120, $125 to my door. So without knowing how good it is, I passed. And the last bottle I passed up on is gonna be Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend, batch 236, coming at $200 at Cypress Craft up in Cypress, California. The reason I decided to pass, I'm just out of money. Oh, how did I find out about this? Instagram. Got a notification that Cypress Craft posted, checked it. It was the cigar blend at $200. Clicked on the link, had to add the cart, but just out of cash. I mean, when I started this channel, I did save a couple of months, and I do save out through the year or through the months in order to buy the whiskeys and to do the reviews and do all that good stuff. But it's, you know, maybe I bought too much, right? Well, no, I know I bought too much. There's bottles I regret. There's bottles that I shouldn't have bought, but now it's catching up. So now I can't buy the bottles I do want. So this is why you'll probably see a lot of these passed on bottles be a longer list than my purchased bottles, just because now I gotta be super picky. And unfortunately, this was a casualty of that super pickiness. I had to pass up on this Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend because I really wanted it. I never had a bottle. I had a couple pours, fantastic, but just can't do it. Next one, the bottles I missed on, the bottles I wanted to buy, but I just missed by seconds. There's actually only one. It's gonna be the Russell's Reserve Single Rick House Camp Nelson F, coming in at $330 at Cypress Craft up in Cypress, California. Again, Instagram notification, solid, clicked on it. I actually clicked on add to cart right away, but by the time I proceeded to check out, it was already sold out. And you say, well, why did you pass up all those bottles and decide to buy this 330 or to try to buy this 330? Well, I'm passing up on all those bottles so I can buy one of these great bottles. I mean, again, this is the one where I believe I passed up on it once back in November or December of last year. I forgot exactly, but with all the great reviews, I mean, there's not a single bad review. Everyone says it tastes great. Everyone says it's wonderful. Yes, people do argue about the price. Is it too expensive? Is it not? But not a single person said, man, this is trash, or man, I regret buying this. All of them say it's a fantastic bottle. It's one of the whiskeys of the year in 2023, and they just wish it was a little bit cheaper. And to me, I think I said in the last video, I'm willing to pay for greatness, and feels like this is greatness. But I tried. I tried to pay for it, but I couldn't. If you're enjoying this content, please push that like button because it really does help me out. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Also, I have just started a YouTube membership, which has some cool perks. So it's another way to support me and keep this channel going. All right, finally on to the bottles I actually purchased. So first up, the Barrel Foundation, aged 5 years, coming at 100 proof, and the Barrel Dovetail, finished in rum, port, and Dunn Vineyards Cabernet barrels, coming in at 125.42 proof. How much did I pay for this? $0. I got it for free. How did I get them for free? Well, I emailed a bunch of distilleries last month just because I want to be a partner with them. Hey, you missed 100% of the shots you don't take. Well, I missed 99% of those shots, but one hit, that 1%, which was Barrel. So long story short, I have actually a Korean YouTube channel that also promotes bourbons and ryes for the Korean audience. And it seems like Barrel is actually expanding to the Korean market later this year. So they actually asked me, hey, what bottles of Barrel do you have? I said, I have the Seagrass and Advantage. They're like, oh, that's awesome. We're also going to be debuting the Foundation and the Dovetail. So they wanted to send me these two bottles just so I can try them. Again, no obligation to review. Obviously, no obligation to give it any kind of good review. They just wanted me to have it. And so it's really cool by Barrel. Again, the second distillery to respond, first being 13 Colony, which still has a nice spot in my heart. And so not only will I be able to do a review of these bottles in my Korean channel, but also here for you guys to see if it's actually worth the money. Next bottle, Blanton's Single Barrel. Got this for $65 at Ralph's up in Tustin. How did I get this? Well, there was a Facebook post that was saying, hey, check your local Ralph's. They got a bunch of Blanton's, Yates Taylors, and Weller's Special Reserve. I was like, well, I need a Blanton's in order to do a video because I was going to do an allocated Buffalo Trace video, which I did last week. And so on my way to basketball, I decided to stop by the local Ralph's, which was 5 minutes away. So I was like, you know what, 10-minute detour just to see if they had it. And what do you know? They had it. They had one bottle left of this. They had, I think, one Yates Taylor and a couple of Weller Reserves. I didn't want any of the other stuff. I just wanted this. And so I got this for $65. So sometimes it does really pay off to check your Facebook. Just do just a bunch of whiskey clubs, bourbon societies, or bourbon finds. You'll probably see a bunch of posts and you'll miss 95% of the time. But there are some lucky ones like that where I was on my way to basketball. I checked it right before I left. They said, hey, check your local Ralph's. Check my local Ralph's. 10-minute detour. Gave me a $65 flat. So, Facebook, do it. Next bottle, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof A124, coming in at 119 proof. And I got this for $69 here in Total Wine in Tustin. Now, the cool part about this, and actually this is the reason I actually wanted to show you this bottle, is that Total Wine price matches. So they actually had it for $76, but high proof up in Fullerton that I mentioned earlier had it for $69. So I asked the manager, hey, I don't want to drive up there. I were to buy here to collect some points for your lottery. Can you price match this? And so now this Total Wine policy is the fact that as long as it's a brick and mortar store here in Orange County, that they're willing to price match as long as it's in stock and it's verifiable. Verifiable is very important. You can't just take a picture. You can't just say, hey, this store has it somewhere. It has to be very verifiable, which is basically they have an online presence that has a really, reliable online store that also has a brick and mortar or a physical store. So that store does. They have a great online store, and they were able to verify through Google that it was a physical store up in Fullerton, and the manager decided to price match. Now, again, your models might vary. They might not price match. They did decline a couple of price matches for me, not for this one, but for other bottles. So they don't have to do it. But again, you miss 100% of shots you don't take. And I took that shot. I was able to save $7. Hey, $7 is $7 for the same bottle. So try that. The next bottle, Jack Daniel's 10-year-old batch 3 coming in at 97 proof. I got this for $65 in Costco in Garden Grove. How did I get this? Facebook. So there's a Facebook post saying, hey, Costco in Garden Grove has a lot of these for $65. Come and get it. I know a friend that lives close to there, called him up and said, hey, are you available? Are you free? Are you home? Are you close to this Costco by chance? He's like, you know what? I'm really close to it. I was like, hey, can you do me a big favor? Can you visit by, try to see if there's a Jack 10? And you know what he said? Sure. Visited by, grabbed it, boom. Now, I do have to buy him lunch, but hey, I were to buy him lunch and get a $65 Jack and meet a great friend and have, break bread together than to not have Jack 10, not meet the friend, and not break bread. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. And the last bottle is gonna be the Jack Daniel's 12-year-old batch number 2. Got it for $98 here in Bevmo in Orange County. Now, I can't tell you the exact store because they asked me not to, but this is where the old famous or infamous relationship building happens. So I go to this Bevmo maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. Either way, I go there and I talk to the manager there, and he's a cool guy. And you know what? Obviously, at first I asked him for allocated bottles and this and that, but it evolved into more like, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? And, we shared other stuff. Like I shared some pours with him, shared some samples with him. I can't share pours. You can't drink on the job, but I shared some samples. Like I started bringing him a little bit of like donuts or something. And again, I know you're like, oh man, you got to do all that just for allocated bottles. Well, yes and no. You don't have to, obviously, but now he's a good friend. So every time we go in there, now we talk about life, we talk about work, we talk about whiskeys, obviously, what he's able to get, what I'm able to get, what I like, what I don't like. And I spend 30 minutes there talking about all this other stuff that's really cool. And obviously, I think, how would I say this? Probably 90%, 95, actually, probably once every 3 months, maybe I'll get something like this. He'll hold it for me. But other than that, like for instance, Bevmo got a bunch of Stag, bunch of E.H. Taylor single barrels. I didn't get those, but I'm cool with that. The number one thing in relationship building is the fact that you can't expect them to do everything. Just because you gave this person a sample or talk to them, don't expect them to always hold the Stags, always hold the Jack 12s or whatever's. Sometimes they have other people to take care of. You're not the only customer. So my expectation, now I have a good friend. I go in, talk whiskey, talk life, talk other cool stuff. And hopefully I also get a cool bottle as well from time to time. I think if you have that mindset, it's actually kind of cool. So here's my 6-bottle whiskey haul for March 2024. So let me know, what were you able to find in March? And what did you pass up on? Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.